those that are supposed to interpret it and then administer it.
See, what we're saying is that people should be passionate about their job. We should have people that love this country. People say, you know what, we don't want deregulation of petroleum products. We want the subsidy to continue. We want our refineries to be prepared. But you go talk to somebody who runs or works in one of these refineries, they will tell you why those refineries can never work.
There is a present and real danger for the corporate existence of Nigeria. Generally, this government is considered as weak.
It should not be so. If we remain like that, then we will remain in socio-economic and political thraldom.
So when you talk about passion, the people ruling us, they are not passionate.
Well, let's take
the House of Rep is not passionate. The senators are not passionate. That's why they are discussing without doing anything. Which sacrifice are they going to offer?
In Nigeria, governance is not about servanthood. Governance in Nigeria is about what can I get.
Corruption revelations. Do you think the lawmakers have any legal standing to continue its probes?
No, the probe shouldn't be continued.
Okay.
In a decent country, they will even discontinue on their own. If you accuse a judge of impropriety, he will resign. Or he will at least say, no, I don't want to continue with it. If we have integrity, we should stop the probe. The probe is not doing us any good. We are even wasting public money by continuing the probe. What has been the outcome of any probe? Is this the first one? Is this the 10th one? We do a probe, we accuse somebody of stealing. After some minutes, that person is parading himself again as a billionaire in the street. Okay. Is that what we should continue? The system is wrong. So we should now go back to the drawing board.
Okay. Mr. Sotoni, do you have an additional comment to that? Because I know it's almost like we're multiplying our efforts, because I know we have the EFCC, the Economic Financial Crimes Commission, we have the ICPC, the Independent Corrupt Practices and other related offenses. Do you think that we are just duplicating our efforts and our parastatals talking about crime fighting in Nigeria?
Absolutely, Philip, you're right.
Okay.
We're duplicating things unnecessarily. Okay, we're duplicating rules which are simply not necessary. And again, these are very, very expensive rules we're duplicating, which means that we're wasting our resources. And you see, when you look at probe is simply investigation. You're investigating something to get to the core of it, to get to the root of the problem, to get to the root of what has caused what. Why is it so? What can be done to improve the status? What can be done to change the situation? Now, if you've used taxpayers' money, you've used Nigeria's resources to conduct this probe, then it is most important that you make the results, your findings, okay, make it public. Let us even see for once the details of this probe.
Especially for the fact that the FOI bill has been passed, the Freedom of Information Bill, so I believe every Nigerian has the right to this information.
Yes, we have the right to access the information.
That's it.
You know, but see, a lot of things have gone wrong. Things need to change. Probe in itself is not bad, but these things should be done well and done right, so that Nigerians will see transparency in the process, and we'll be able to utilize the result of this probe to improve our nation. Because if the result of a probe does not improve our situation, then there is no use for it.
Okay. All right. Contrary to what you just said now, are we saying that the Fuel Subsidy Probe Committee has not done well, which was headed by the ad hoc committee chairman, Farouk Lawan, who is seriously embattled right now? Are you saying that his report that his investigations he got from the Fuel Subsidy Probe, are you saying it should be, it shouldn't hold water? You know, are you saying that those culprits that were found from, you know, eating into the subsidy money, are you saying it should be left, it should be swept under the carpet? Because Farouk Lawan, right, his report made the day for over 2-3 months, and it was actually under review before his setup came up and took over the news. Are you saying we should put away that report because he is now a villain?
The issue about fuel subsidy is a very, very important issue that affects all Nigerians.
Everybody.
It is something that is of major interest to every Nigerian, and of course of major interest to the government and everybody in this nation. Now, such a delicate issue, you're probing it, you should do, the pro panel should do their job very well. Lawan, I must give, with due respect to him, is a seasoned
he has a track record.
He has a very good track record.
Yes,
that spans over 10 years.
Yes.
You know, over the time, he has done very well, and I have very good respect for him. It's unfortunate, really, really unfortunate that he immersed himself in this bribery thing. I wish he had not, but it's unfortunate. Now, that alone has, to some extent, and to a very major extent, given a very big dent to the entire report and process.
So do you agree that that report should be swept under the carpet, sir?
He who goes into equity must come with clean hands.
Okay.
If Farouk Lawal's hands are tainted, as it has been said, what has happened is that the probe is now giving room for another probe.
Yes, the prober has become
the prober has now become the probe.
Probed, yes.
So you should probe the prober to find out if it is true. If it is true, then the prober has no worth.
So the concentration on the report now should be
it should be shifted to find Lawal, bring Lawal up. Let's see if he's clean. If he is clean, then his report is clean.
So far, he has not returned the $620,000 bribe money that was alleged.
Well, to have admitted that they took $620,000.
Okay.
To admit that you take $1, it means you are corrupt. And how can the report of that person be accepted? The answer is no.
Wow. You agree, sir?
Absolutely.
Same thing. Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's unfortunate.
It's very
really,
unfortunate,
really
yes. That's it.
Okay, now, should there be a strategy that the House can employ in ensuring that the recommendations of their probes are not laid aside without implementation? You know, a lack of this makes the probe panel look like they're, dilly-dallying. They're having a merry-go-round that do not have a specific destination. They've had several results and recommendations, but before you know it, is not taken into consideration. So what do you think they can do? Is there a strategy they can employ to ensure that their recommendations are taken into full considerations?
You see, that is one thing we must really look at critically. Nigeria, as we are as a nation, we should stop the emphasis on building strong people. We need to build institutions, we need to build framework and structures that will be able to drive policies, nationwide. Okay, now, until these structures are put in place, we'll be having problems. Now, when you put very strong structures and you put in place processes, this is how we're going to get this done, this is how we're going to get this done. Anybody you put knows that, look, this is my limit. If I go beyond this point, I'm in soup. Now, once you get on that seat, you begin to do things properly. But when there are no set guidelines, when people can come and do anything anyhow and they go scot-free, then it gives us very big challenge, which means that the problem will continue. If you set up on that pro panel today, the same problem will occur because we've not dealt with the issue of establishing the right framework, the right structure, the right processes to drive all of this. And that is what we need to, as a matter of urgency, put in place so that people will now begin to respect these processes. That way would help the legislators, will help any other person do their job with
These people are already there, and they were elected in that position. And owing to the statement of what Obasanjo actually made, former President Obasanjo said, do you think we can leave them on that seat to still do what they have to do? Or do you think it's so serious that, look, a lot of overhauling has to be done in talking about the House of Representatives?
We do not have the process of getting all of them out at a time. If we have, that should be represented. That is what is needed right now.
Wow.
To get everybody out of the House. They are not representing us. If you can show this type of thing to Nigerians, if you have employed a person and he has performed like this, what will you do with him? You will still keep him there? No, of course you will sack him. They are representatives of Nigeria. They have not done Nigeria proud. Okay, when you have somebody who is probing and is stealing, Now, how can you accept the report? If it is true that somebody asked Otedola to give them money, wouldn't they have asked other people to give them money?
Okay.
How many people are giving them money and had gone away with whatever they have taken?
Without a constructed blackmail or setup?
Without a setup. Is it true? If it's not true, then we know that Otedola is the one that is just making noise. But if it is true, and somebody has already admitted he took a certain amount of money, I'm inclined to believe that Otedola was telling the truth.
Wow. Okay, let's look at this issue now on this investigation, which swept Ms. Aroma Ote off her office, you know, as the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission. And another DG, Mohammed Bello, has already been appointed rather in acting capacity.
Yes.
Now, do you think it's more like a coup or a political game, a probe, whatever, that, you know, just happens at the end of these findings? Do you think it was as a result of the fact that Aroma Ote actually brought out one of the victors, the villains that were supposed to be victors in the House of Representatives? Do you think it was like a fallout and then they took her out of that office? Or
I think it was a fallout of that.
But she was also painted as having some skeleton in her cupboard.
Let us know it.
Okay.
Don't work on skeleton. Let us see it openly. Nigerians are waiting to see the skeleton Aroma in her cupboard. She has pointed to somebody that you took money. You wanted to take money. You took money. She wasn't hiding that.
He's already been suspended in the House of Representatives.
Yes, that person has already been suspended. So let them come up with the answer to all these things. Nigeria needs to understand that the political system we are operating, or we are supposed to be operating, is supposed to be a transparent one. But what are we doing now? What's the result? It icks one to see what is happening now in Nigeria, that members of the House of Representatives, besides all the resources available to them, are still penny pinching all over the place. That shouldn't be the case. I think our system needs to be overhauled. We need to look at it again.
Okay.
You see, the type of democracy we are operating in Nigeria is good, but it's not made for us. We should have a peculiar one, something that is peculiar to us.
Okay.
There's no room for people to continue to steal. It is wrong. And when the former president can turn around and say, these people are thieves.
Wow.
Something wrong somewhere.
Mr. Anga, you have anything to say as regards that?
Yes, you see, we need to... the former president, okay, is a wise man. At least he has age.
Yes.
That's a very big advantage. Experience, very big advantage. He knows the system.
Yes.
When he talks, okay, sometimes people will misunderstand him because he goes straight to the
To the point, yes.
It's more like an extremist in
I know.
revealing the truth.
Yes. Before
That is
Baba
it.
talks, he knows what he's saying.
Yeah, of course.
He has his facts
Yes.
ready. He has details. So when he comes and scratches the surface and tells you one thing, boom, you want to go further, he will give you details. He will give you details.
Yes.
So was it more like a prophecy? You know, seeing these kind of issues coming up after his statement, do you think it was more like a prophecy?
Certainly, these things were going to come up, and much more will come up. He had not gone further. He will still go further. Okay, but he has said something. Now, you see, it calls for a serious overhaul of the system. What challenge the House of Representatives have today is that of throwing aside mediocrity and facing the business of building strong laws that would help us grow our nation.
And generations to come.
Yes, because you see, these are people that were elected, and they were elected to be our voice. So they are sitting on a very special platform, okay, to give voice to our wishes, our aspirations. We want development across the length and breadth of Nigeria.
Country, yes.
Okay, we need these people to sit down, understand that people voted them, and they voted when they were voted into power. they gave the people assurance that they are going to give the dividend of democracy. They are going to ensure that they make law